Now, we have what I would call two different shades of green. And that is, on one hand, the corporate growth, the typical venture financing, and then the facility build-out or project financing, which is equity and debt. Specifically, when you talk about project financing, you have sponsor equity, tax equity, and debt. Now let me swing over a little bit to the project financing side of things. If I want to develop a project, okay, let's assume we want to develop a medium-size or medium to large-scale solar project, 100 megawatt, just an assumption. The development side, or the development time is about 4 to 5 years. You have to secure the land. You have to get the land entitlements, which is basically the environmental on California level as well as federal level. You have to get interconnection. You have to get a PPA. And then you're ready to construct and ready to get financing. The project financing, the takeout financing, and before that the construction finance. Now, until you get to the point where you start building, you're very much like a technology company. You are an emerging growth company as a developer who needs to finance the 4 to 5 years of product development. Your product is the project. Okay? So for a 100 megawatt project, you probably, and that's the crux in the matter of the matter, whether you develop a 20 megawatt project or a 100 megawatt project or a 300 megawatt project, it doesn't really make a big difference. You always, if it's a greenfield development, not on a rooftop or on a parking space, shaded parking or adjacent land, if you go out in the field, it takes you 4 to 5 years. And whether it's a 20 megawatt project or a 300 megawatt project, you have to do the same things. You have to secure the land. You have to comply with CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act. You have to comply with NEPA, the National Environmental Policy Act. You have to get take permits, incidental take permits. You have to do perhaps a habitat conservation plan, all that, whether it's 20 megawatts or 300 megawatts. And then you have to do the interconnection. You have to follow the CAISO, the California Independent System Operator rules. You have to do PPA. You have to see which program of the utilities work for you. Long story short, whether it's 20 megawatts or 300 megawatts, it takes you, if it's greenfield, 4 to 5 years in California. In Nevada, Arizona, it may be 2 years. But where's the offtake? That's the question. So you have to finance the 4 to 5 years, and these 4 to 5 years are the financing for these 4 to 5 years, the project development financing, is very much like venture financing. It's not this financing, the project development or the project financing, equity and debt. That comes when you are done with development. Once you're done with development, you have a project that goes into the ground, you start construction, you get the construction financing and the project takeout financing. And I'm going to talk about the project takeout financing a little bit later, and I think mostly Tom is going to cover that from the tech side. Now, if you look at the traditional emerging growth company or the project developer trying to develop the project development, to finance the project development time, you have similar capital sources, mostly venture capital or private equity. And these capital sources think in terms which are more familiar to us. What's the growth potential of the company? What's going to be the IRR? They want to have board representation. What's the multiples to exit? And what's the corporate valuation? Now, in project financing, they think different. They talk about cash flow, debt seniority, debt service coverage ratio, lockbox and reserve accounts, securitization. Is my loan secured or not? What priority do I have, first or second priority? And is there a forbearance agreement between the tax equity and the debt? All these things are different, or this language is totally different on the project financing side than on the venture capital side.